and just play my music, because my music kind of like centers me.
Yeah.
And then once we're ready, like tap me on the shoulder and I'm good.
Yeah, because she knows I'd start doing squats.
Yeah.
And I just start like running in place. I just trying to like pump myself up.
Yeah.
Listen to loud music.
Yeah.
Do my shot.
Now I want to do it behind the scenes with you guys. Like just call you guys and be like, and what are you thinking? And watch you guys kind of like.
We just got our blood work done.
Yeah, we did.
And our doctors asked us, what are we doing to have such great blood work?
Yeah. And you know what we told them?
ProCare!
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we told them, like, yeah, we take ProCare every day because they have a multivitamin that you can just take one a day.
Yes, exactly. They have a capsule and a chewable form. And not only do they have vitamins, but they also have calcium chews.
Oh my God, they're so good.
They're so delicious. It's like our own little sweet treat for the end of the night.
It really is, because they have the dark chocolate and they have the cinnamon roll.
Yes, and I love the salted caramel and the dinner mint.
Alrighty, we'll go to procarenow.com
and use code OSLP at checkout to save some money. You guys ask us all the time, what is our favorite protein powder?
Yeah, literally, we see this question every day.
And the answer is always
Devotion! Yeah. Oh my goodness. I even use it this morning to make my own sweet treat for nighttime, because it's just a brownie batter pudding. And you literally just use 1 scoop and then milk or water.
And then I use it every morning in my Proffee. It's so delicious. Oh my God. I want one right now thinking of it.
Seriously, it's 20 grams of protein. So go get yours now at devotionnutrition.com.
And use code OSLP to save some money. Okay, trying to figure out portion sizes after weight loss surgery is fucking hard.
So hard. So freaking hard.
So we found this company and they take the guesswork out of it.
Yeah, my goodness, guys. Look, it's portion perfection. They have bowls and plates and they have all sorts of organizing things on their website. I can't wait to get more. But it literally tells you 1 cup, 1.5 cup, 1/4 of a cup. Like, the guesswork is completely gone.
Yes. And the plate, even better. Protein, salad, veggies, whatever. And then this little section, carbs. So, because you can have carbs.
You can have carbs.
We are so excited and we cannot wait to see what you guys think of this. This is definitely OSLP approved.
100%. So the link is down below. So click that link, get your discount, and start getting your portions correctly now. Well, thanks to this lady over here, I know that hot tea is so much better after surgery. Oh my goodness.
Yes, it makes the liquids go down so much easier.
So much smoother.
And we are so excited that we found this badass woman-owned tea company.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So exciting. Their tagline is actually, we fucking love tea.
Yes.
And what better describes us?
Seriously, everything's organic. Like they're all loose leaf. And this one is called literally You're Fucking Awesome.
Yes.
And the back of it says fucking directions. So this is our kind of people. They talk like us, they act like us, and we fucking love tea.
Yes. And this one is rad as fuck. And it actually says, shine your light bright, Mel. They make sure that it is personalized to you when you order.
Yeah.
Be bold, be bright, be badass. You are so fucking rad. You light up this world.
How cool.
How could you not want to drink this tea?
Seriously.
It's so fun.
And they have a straw for your drink. Pretty wicked because it's loose leaf, but the straw does not make any of the leaves come up.
Exactly. And we have been nonstop drinking this tea since we got it.
Yes.
So we need you guys to go over and go to their website, modestmix.com.
That's right.
And order your tea. Don't forget to use our code oursleevedlife20 to get a percentage off.
That's right. Go now.
Welcome back, OSLP family. Yeah.
Welcome.
You are listening to Our Sleeve Life Podcast presents the Tiny Tummy Tales.
Yeah.
And this is Kelly.
This is Mel.
And before we get started with our guest for the Tiny Tummy Tales, we just want to remind you that we have one of the coolest events coming up.
Yes, we do.
It is in November, and it is the Just Be You Bariatric Award Show, and it is the first ever to happen.
I know. And it literally means just be you.
Yeah, so you can dress how you want. Exactly. You can do what you want. We actually got a message the other day that said, so is this like a formal thing? Do I need to wear a tux? It was a guy. And I mean, even if you're a girl and you want to wear a tux, do it. But I was like, honestly, like the goal is to like dress up and like get all glammed,
Mhm.
but if you want to wear jeans and a t-shirt,
That's fine.
just fucking do it.
Yeah. Do you?
Yes.
That's exactly what it's all about.
Exactly. So we are really excited for this event. It is November 12th in Portland, Oregon.
Mhm.
It is at the Aladdin Theater.
Yeah.
It is a historic theater.
Yeah, and tickets are only $80.
Yes.
And you get to meet all the presenters. You get to hang out with us. You
Yep.
get to have swag bags. You get to get your picture done on a pink carpet.
Pink carpet, no red carpet for these girls.
That's
You
right.
have to have a pink carpet.
Mhm.
We are super excited for the sponsors that have decided to help us and support us in this new endeavor.
I know.
So first and foremost, ProCare Health.
Okay.
You guys all know, you hear it every single episode almost, how we take them every single day.
We do.
We have glowing labs because of them. And so it just made sense that they were our main sponsor for this event.
Yes, it does. It makes complete sense.
Yes.
And then we have the sleeve dietitian,
yes.
Jamie.
Yes.
So she's part of the group because she's pretty awesome. And she has a great membership program.
Oh my
with the tribe.
gosh, it's
So-
excellent. So finding support in this community is easy, but then not easy. And she makes it super easy. She does like 30 Zoom calls a month. It's crazy.
So many.
And almost every single one of her tribe leaders are bariatric patients.
Which
So
is
they
cool.
understand exactly where you're coming from because
Yeah.
they've been in that exact same spot. And then we also have Dr. Eric, the Georgetown Surgical. They are sponsoring us, and he is also presenting,
He
which
is.
Jamie is presenting also.
Yes, she
so
is.
you get to come and meet her, she's amazing in person.
She really, really is.
So,
Yeah, and we get to meet Tabitha.
Well-
She is the real berry boss.
well, we've met her before.
No, they get to meet
Oh,
her.
they get to meet her. I thought you said we get to, and I was like, we've met her several times. So
You're so funny. No, she's one of our sponsors, and she's a bariatric therapist. So
yes.
she is a fun lady, and she's been on the podcast. We trust her with ourselves because,
Yeah.
like, I wanted her to be my therapist for a hot minute, but
yes.
she can't because she's not licensed in Oregon.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we have Own Bariatrics, Nolani.
Mm-hmm.
She is a new person that we have not met in person.
Correct.
But she seems like the sweetest person
Yeah.
ever. And so we get to hug her in person
Yeah.
finally.
And she's a personal coach.
She is a transformation coach. So it's pretty interesting. Go and check out her Instagram and
Yeah.
her website. It explains all of what she does, and it's kind of interesting.
It is interesting. It's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
And then we have Dr. Joe Cribbins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Heather and Marty.
Yes, and they're gonna be at the show, and you get to take pictures of Marty.
Yes.
And their facility is also sponsoring the podcast.
And we did
the-
get a little tidbit of information that he is in the process of picking out the perfect bow tie.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Yeah,
So Marty
be
will have
fun.
a bow tie on. He will be dressed to the nines.
I love it. I love it. And what's really cool is one of our patrons actually won to be able to come down to the award show.
Yes.
So that's also one of the benefits of being a patron is that you can get exclusive things like this. So like we
Mhm.
had a whole raffle going, and then I got to spin the wheel, and we got to see who won.
I was camping, so I was not able to be there when she spun the
No.
wheel, but I was just as excited to find out who it was.
Right? It was pretty cool. And so that was Louise. And so like that's why we pretty much say go over to patreon.com/OSLP, pick a tier, $5 or higher was what it was to get into that raffle. But we love the $7 or higher tier
Yeah.
because that's our benchy tier.
It's our benchies.
Yes.
We like to call it the winner's bench because we have been called losers enough in our lives.
That's right.
And so we do not like the loser's bench
Mm-mm.
term. So we changed it to the winner's bench. And so it is our fond benchies.
I know we have a
love
whole
them.
Facebook support group going because we hate the other ones.
Yeah.
Because they're so
They're-
scary.
They're so negative
I
and
know.
toxic. So we were like, nope, no negativity, no toxicity in our group.
Yep.
Everybody just gets along and finds Bari Besties within that group, and
Yeah.
they become very connected. It's really great.
Yeah,
It's
because we
really-
get to see their whole life, like all the ups and downs, and we get to
Mm-hmm.
help with tips and tricks. And they've made some really cool bonds. Like some of them are like best friends.
Yeah.
Outside of
Yeah.
that group, which is really cool.
most
So-
definitely.
So,
And then don't forget to go over to YouTube, click that little bell, hit subscribe, do all of the things,
Yeah.
because then you get to watch us. and
Yeah.
you get to see who we're interviewing before we even get to them.
exactly, because it's a free way to support us.
It is.
So this is the tiny tummy tales,
Yes.
and we have Miss Holly. With
Yes.
us.
So welcome on, Holly.
Hello, hello.
How you
Hello.
doing?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yes,
Fantastic.
fantastic. Yeah,
Wow. And you're only 2 months in.
Mhm.
I am 2 months. May 13th, Friday the 13th.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot it was Friday the 13th for you.
That's crazy.
So
I picked it. I'm not weirdo.
That's right, because we have the same surgery date now.
We do.
yes,
May 13th. So mine was a Wednesday back then, though. It's
you're
not
just 7 years
Friday.
apart.
Yeah, we're
7 years. Yep, you're like
Wow.
a big sister, but I'm older than you, so.
I know, but you know what? This is what we have to look forward to. You will be fine in 7 years.
Yes, yes,
We
have
got
complete
each other's
faith.
back.
Yes. So how does it, so let's go back and think about where you started to realize you had an issue with your weight. Was it a childhood thing? Was it adolescence? When did you
Adult.
start to kind of figure that out?
Definitely, I for sure probably like middle school, high school is when I really started. I think when the outside forces really started being the chatter behind you. Like,
Okay.
you're not this, you're not that, all these different things, Hindsight, did I? Probably not. I mean,
Yeah.
really, probably not. But that mindset you get into, and then you start the dieting, right?
Yeah.
I need to be smaller. I need to look like this person. I need to look like that one. And people think I'm overweight. I don't look like her. I don't wear the same size. As opposed to just being like, I'm an adolescent who's
Yeah.
just going through all the hormones and ups and downs. But no, I immediately started doing that. I think having a family who's overweight also
Okay.
made me like, oh, that's going to be me immediately.
Yep.
Which is kind of ironic because I have some family that's overweight, but my siblings, they are not.
Oh,
But-
okay.
But for some reason in my head, I was like, yep, that's going to be me. I do actually recall, this is so horrible. I recall being really young and me being hungry and being like, Mom, can I have another sandwich or whatever? Like, I'm hungry. And her literally saying, well, you don't want to look like so-and-so in my family. And
Oh no.
And I was young enough that in my head, guys, I was just like, well, what's wrong with her? Like, I love her. Like, she was my age, my aunt.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, what? So I just like, it kind of started getting put into me at a young age, but it was
Yeah.
really when I was getting older and I was like, oh, you don't need this, and that negativity really just started all that horrible talk behind, I say behind your back, but just behind you, like, don't eat this, don't eat that. Those, what do they call them, the food police or whatever? And
Yeah.
Yeah. Food
Mhm.
police.
Yeah.
Well,
And then
it's
I just
crazy. It can
started.
start so early.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like one-liners can really fuck with you for the
Well,
rest of
and the
your
fact that I don't know exactly how old you are, but you're an adult and you're still remembering that specific moment
I'm
and that
40.
specific comment.
Yes,
I
I'm
would not
40.
say you're 40.
I am 40. I own it. I am 40.
You look
How does
great.
it-
I would say 35, 36. So
Yeah,
That's very nice of you.
I thought you were our age.
yeah.
No, that's what I said. You could be my older sister in the bariatric world, but not in the real world. No, I'm 40. Yep. Yeah, no, and I
Okay.
remember that kind of stuff. So I mean, you figure if I'm 40, and I started that, in my adolescence,
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
30 years of playing that freaking game with
Yeah,
yourself.
in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard battle. I mean, I just recorded a little video this morning because we recorded the episode about your self-worth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And my self-worth is very much tied to my weight.
Mhm.
And the fact that I don't give myself enough credit that I am now not bedridden. I have still lost 65 pounds. There are things that are still a success within
Still
my
wins.
life. There's still wins.
Yeah.
But my self-worth is tied to the fact that I'm not at that lowest weight. And that's probably tied to many things within my life.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, it's very hard to not be hyper focused on your weight and how you could be considered a failure in your own head
Mhm.
because you're not at the weight that everybody else is at.
Yeah.
Or you think you need to be at. You know,
Yeah.
even if you accept, like I accepted the fact that I'm never going to be a size 4.
Uh-huh.
That's not who I am. It's not who my siblings are. But even if I was like, oh, I should be a size 12, let's just throw out a normal number, right?
Yeah.
But if I wasn't there, like, oh, you're not there yet. You're not
Yep.
there yet. You're not there
Yep.
yet. Even if you.
Yep. And I think that comes along with the fact that we all tend to keep clothes that don't fit as goal clothes.
Oh yeah.
And so every time you look at that piece of clothing and you're like, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. In your head, you're saying, I'm not worthy of that piece of clothing yet. Even because you could always return it and just get a bigger size that it would fit.
Yeah.
But you choose to hold on to that piece to remind yourself that you're not worthy until you get to that
you're not
size.
there yet. Yeah.
And that's just completely inaccurate. That's why they make different sizes.
But we lie to ourselves though and say,
Yes.
oh, but it's a goal. This is to motivate me.
Yeah.
But really, it's not motivating you. Like you said, it's really detrimental to you to have that smaller size and be like, oh, when I get, this is my motivation. I want to fit into this. You know, why we've all told ourselves, right? If I buy a smaller size, I'm going to work really hard to get into it.
Yeah.
It's such a bullshit lie because it is, you're right. It's more detrimental to us. It's hurting us in the long term by looking at that constantly.
Correct.
Yes.
And that goes along with the fact that we were talking about that on the last episode that we did of when we say that I'm going to lose such and such amount of weight for a wedding, a party, a birthday, a vacation, whatever it is, you're putting your own self-worth down by saying that you're not worthy of going to the wedding, going to the vacation, wearing that dress because you're not a certain weight.
Well, we've been taught at a young age that that's okay to do. Like that's the diet culture.
Thank
right
you, diet
there,
culture.
right there, right in your face.
Yeah.
Because don't you guys remember the teeny beady, like the yellow polka dot bikini?
Yeah.
Like that was like it's a commercial. It just showing you like you'll fit into it one time.
Yeah.
Like that was not helpful.
No, not at all. But it's to sell a product.
Yeah.
To make you lose weight. And then when you go off of it, you gain the weight back. So then you go back on the product. So it's a way of keeping you always back paying for that product.
Yeah, they want your money. Like I understand these are corporations that just want money from you.
There is a whole team of
$1
people.
billion.
Yes.
$1 billion industry.
To fuck with your brain.
Yes.
So you spend money.
Yeah.
Period.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Yep. It's
so
such BS.
So when did the first thought of having bariatric surgery pop into your life?
All right, I'm gonna hijack this just for a minute, you guys.
Go right ahead.
So I worked, you guys know, I've been in the medical field my whole life. And I worked in a hospital, and I remember gastric bypass was starting to become more of oh, you can do it. And so I started working with people who were like, I'm gonna get gastric bypass. Or back in the day, the lap band. And these ladies that had gastric bypass really enforce the stigma. And I'm part of the stigma. I was your main target to try to change things.
That's 2 and 2.
I know.
What?
Oh,
Our last Tiny Tales were the same
was the same way.
So they had a huge stigma about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huge. I mean, I worked in the medical field, and I'm sitting there going, if you could do this, then why don't you change your addiction to something else? Like, just if you're going to change from eating, right, to why don't you just go to working out? Why don't you do this? Well, I worked with so many people who had the surgery. And one of them, rumor has it, if you will, that she literally put rocks in her pockets.
Oh, for like the weight thing?
To qualify for the surgery.
Wow.
So there's one of my examples, in my early 20s, like, and she had other medical issues that was like scary medical issues. Then I had somebody else who had it done, and before you know it, they're talking about how they stretched out their pouch, which, how are we going to get people to stop believing that? But they were just going to Taco Bell every night or Starbucks on their way to work because they work night shift.
Yep.
This kind of stuff. So they were like, oh yeah, I can eat whatever I want now. I can do this, I can do that. I'm like, God, like, why would anybody do this to themselves? Nobody is doing this for the right reasons.
Mhm.
Then I had a friend who was really tall. She was overweight, and she was like, I really think I want to do this. And we talked about it. I was like, you know what? If you want to do it for your kids, I get it. You guys, I think within probably 2, maybe 3 months, she was drinking. She was drinking Frescas. So I'm like, caffeine, carbonation,
Yeah.
and alcohol. And I'm just sitting there going like,
What the fuck?
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, I was just like, I can't believe it. And then she started smoking.
Oh no.
So I was like, what is the point of this? Like, what is the point of all these people? Like, yeah, she's kept her weight off. Good for her. But and I don't know if she still has, but she's drinking all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I was just like, there's no way in hell. I remember one day I went up to one of my cardiologists and I was like, hey, Stan, what do you think about gastric? And he's like, oh, Holly, I don't think you need it. And I was like, no, but I'm like, what do you think of it long term? And he was like, well, if you can find a new addiction, a new healthy one. I had a patient who did it. Now his addiction's working out.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, if his addiction was working out, why can't he just work out before having surgery? Like, I didn't understand it.
Right.
So I was seriously the person that was like, no, it's not a good idea for people. You just manifest your addiction somewhere else. You need to actually deal with your issues and your shit. Otherwise, this is pointless.
Right.
And so I lived that for a long time.
Yeah.
And people, and I'm like, no way. I had another acquaintance, and I still follow her on Instagram, and she had I don't know, bypass leave. I don't know which one. Another person started drinking.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my God. Like when she did, I think she did 30 or 90 days of no drinking. And I'm like, oh, good. But then they celebrated with a huge mimosa party. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm just watching all these
counterintuitive and intuitive.
But it
yes.
doesn't though, because that's what we do with food. We'll go on a diet, be awesome for 6 months, and then that last day we're like splurging on crazy.
Mhm.
So it's just the transfer addiction behavior.
But it is counterintuitive because you're celebrating the thing that you were trying to stay away from by using the thing that you're trying to stay away from.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. No, it's totally, I mean, and I've seen people do that on 21 Day Fix or Whole 30 or whatever. And then they're like, I can find carbs,
That's hard. Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, there went that idea. So I seriously was just that person who, every once in a while I would think about it. And then I was just like, no, I'm not doing this. Cause I'm like, this is not going to work. It's bullshit. It's the easy way out. I said it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I said it. I know. Don't shoot me down. But I was like, no. And then, I mean, I did every diet, of course, like you guys did. No Expand. I did Weight Watchers multiple times. I did Bittermine. I did. I even did hypnosis. That was a fun one.
Oh, really?
Hypnosis. Yeah.
What was
and
that
I'll tell
like?
you, it was emotional. It was weird. But I will say that the hypnosis got me off soda.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
So it
So I'm
helped
like,
in a way.
I'm like, it was a win. Like I can now not now, but before I could maybe drink Sprite, but I can't stand a Coke. I can't stand any of that now. Like the flavor is disgusting. And I was like a diet Dr. Pepper fiend.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Like 4 or 5 a day.
Wow.
Nice.
This was a couple of years ago. And so hey, yay for hypnosis. That got me off that, but it didn't do anything for my weight. So I'm like, I just kept doing and I did Weight Watchers after I had my kids. I lost like 50 some odd pounds and shit. Well, guess what? Comes back.
Yeah.
Because I just got tired of tracking. I think we talked about that before. Tracking.
Yeah.
And or you guys talked about it, how you wasn't it you who just absolutely hated tracking and
I hate tracking.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm back in Weight Watchers when I'm
Yes.
tracking and weighing my food.
See, and I wasn't sure because I've known you for so long and now you go into therapy. I wasn't sure if that was the fact that you hated tracking because of Weight Watchers or is that just part of your avoidance?
No, that was purely it. Maybe 50-50. I'm going to be honest. 50-50. It's part of my avoidance because I don't like to be smacked in the face with what my choices are.
Yeah.
But the other half of it is when I'm tracking, I feel like I'm on a diet.
Right.
And then when I had this surgery, my mindset was, this is not another diet.
Yes.
This is the rest of my life.
Right.
And so I didn't want to look at it like I'm going to be on a diet for the rest of my freaking life.
Yeah.
What's the point? Like, I might as well just do Weight Watchers then.
Right.
And I hated Weight Watchers. I absolutely hated the whole process of it. You had to walk into a building with a bunch of strangers, sit there and talk about what you ate the last week. You had to weigh yourself in front of everybody. And then you had to sit there and weigh everything you ate. And if you didn't hit your points, you felt like a failure.
Oh, that's not fun.
It's not a fun experience. It wasn't for me, at least. Some people do really well with that. They do really well with the way that things are
regimen.
done. Yeah. I was not one of those people.
But hold on, let's be honest. If people did really well on it, they wouldn't be $1 billion corporation.
Correct. Yeah.
But it's, I mean, how many times? I mean, I probably did it maybe 4 times.
Yeah.
So if it's so, but no.
3 for me.
Yeah.
It's just a cycle. It's just another product. Yeah.
Yep.
But people do it. They get tired of, like I said, I was right there with you. Tired of the weighing, tired of always having to think about, like, what am I doing? What am I, oh, well, if I'm going to eat salami or am I going to eat chicken? Well, chicken's like, okay, let's do this,
Yeah.
And then they constantly kept changing the program too. So I was like, this is bad. Like,
Yeah,
get it
you didn't
down.
know. Yeah, it was constantly changing. Every time I signed up, it was a different program. And so you had
Yep.
to relearn everything.
Oh, that's.
And it was very confusing, but that's how they keep it. Because if they confuse you,
Mhm.
then you have to relearn everything, which means you stay on longer. Plus, they make it very fucking hard to cancel it. Very fucking hard.
Do they?
They do, because if you make it hard to cancel it, people are like, it's only $10 a month. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
Yep.
Or they'll get frustrated and they'll be like, I'll do it tomorrow. And like we all know, tomorrow never comes, Monday never comes.
Yep.
So that's what happens with it. Yep.
That's
I kept it
annoying.
for 6 months, paying every single month
Until you canceled.
until I was adamant that I was not doing it again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's the other thing. It's I'll start it again. I'll start it again. It really does work. I'll start
Uh-huh.
it again.
Yeah.
I lost weight on it. I'll start it again. It's the most healthiest way.
It's
No,
not.
It's not.
It's not. There's a different
No.
way to do
The thing.
the things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So anyway, so I would think about it, and then I was like, no, this is like the worst idea.
Yeah.
Because it's just not effective and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because you just manifest it somewhere else. And so that was kind of my mindset. And every once in a while I would get so fed up and like, oh, I'm just going to do it. And then no. And then finally, I think it was it was for sure last year. And I was like, maybe I should do it. And I was like, no, talk myself out of it again. And I was driving and I would have like Sirius XM and I put on the doctor show because I love listening to the medical ones. And it was about gastric bypass. And I was like listening to it and I was like, oh shit.
Mhm.
This sounds different. This isn't like the typical first person, oh, I did it for this reason. This is what I'm doing. It was like, no, this is why it works. This is why diets do not work.
uh-huh.
And I was just like,
Like,
the
oh.
first time I had to stop and go, am I wrong? Like, have I been wrong this whole time?
Yeah.
Like, oh, now I'm questioning my beliefs.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, if I'm going to question my beliefs, let's look into it more. So I immediately was like, well, I bet I can find another podcast. And there were not a lot of doctor ones.
No.
And I wanted medical. I didn't want people's hearsay, like, this is what I do. And I'd be like, well, that's fucking great. Like, you're not following what you need. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has this different opinion. You guys talk about that with Facebook groups and you get bad information. And I was just like, no, I want just freaking doctors. I just want to.
Yeah.
But I wasn't finding any. And lo and behold, I found one with Lisa Lampanelli.
Which was
Yep. And I was like, oh, I love her. I was like, I didn't know she had the surgery. And I was like, she's so great. So I was like, I might just listen to Lisa. Like, if anything, it'll probably be funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so she brought me to you guys.
Aww.
That's super
Yeah.
cool.
So finding this podcast. So then I started listening to so I listened to like one or two. I was like, oh, okay. All right. Like, I kind of like this, like, no bullshit kind of thing. think I found another doctor one at some point, listened to that, and then I just started listening to you guys from the very first episode. I was like I treated you guys like your book, which obviously this does not work that way.
Most people do though. Most people do treat it like a book. Like they start at the beginning and then go forward.
Well, in the first few seasons you can. After that you can't.
No, because we bounce around a lot.
Yep. For the timeline's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys are recording and then you're like talking. I was like, wait a minute, did I miss it? Did I miss an episode? What happened?
Yeah.
But no, so I started listening to you guys. And I'm not a paid endorser, but I started listening to you guys, and then I was like, oh, they're just kind of like honest about it, and they're talking, and then you guys started bringing in other people, and I was like, okay, like listening to, and not even the old tummy tales or what we don't call them anymore, but it was just like bringing in like Dr. D.
Yeah.
And her just and I think one of you guys did it, or not one of you guys did one where it was like, oh crap, just like what people said to you, your support groups, all that kind of stuff, the negative, and I was like, this is so like real.
Yeah.
And so I started doing it, and I was like, I'm gonna ask for a referral. I'm like, I'm just gonna ask my doctor for a referral. I'm like, just gonna do it, because I'm like, what's worse? I changed my mind.
Right. Yeah. You can always back out if you want to.
Yeah.
But in the meanwhile, I was still listening to you guys. I literally was finding myself. So I'm in California, and I'm about 3 to 4 hours away from my favorite ocean area.
Okay.
So I would literally get my kids up in the morning. I have girls, twin girls, and I would put them in the car, and I would drive 3-4 hours just to listen to you guys.
Oh my God.
We'd go play at the ocean for a few hours, do our thing, and I'd drive home and listen to you guys.
Oh,
and so I was just like super immersed in you guys. Like anytime I was in the car and my kids watching a movie, I'm listening to the ladies. And that's what made me start going, okay, and then my referral, and then I just started the process. But it was really that one random time turning on the radio, listening to the doctors talking about gastric and sleeve, and then you guys, that made me completely change my whole perception about weight loss surgery.
Well, and I think, first off, thank you.
Yes,
we really appreciate that, because that's what we're trying to do.
No, thank you. Thank you. First off.
Well, you're welcome. But I think that there's so much of the weight loss surgery world that is all rainbows and sunshine, and that's what's put out there, is that like, I had surgery, I lost 150 pounds, and now I'm golden. Like, I think there's so much of that, but it rarely covers what could happen of regain, of not having a support system, of divorce, of transfer addiction, of all of these different things that are rarely talked about, because at the end of the day, the surgery itself is amazing. It works, it does. But there's so many other factors to that surgery that people don't talk about.
Right.
Yes.
It's getting more into the mainstream of talking about those things, and that it's okay to talk about the fact that you've regained. It's okay to talk about if you've had transfer addiction. And I think a lot of people want to know about that. And so from day one, we've always been very open and honest about what our journeys looked like. And Mel went through a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I was still in my honeymoon stage. So I was like, everything's perfect. And then,
like,
wait
for it.
And then your husband leaves you. And there you go. And then you start discovering that there's a whole nother side to this. And so it helps that you get to hear not only the good and the great, but also the bad and the even worse. And be prepared for every aspect of the journey that it brings you, because it is not only a year after your surgery that you deal with these things for the rest of your life. So what happened at your very first appointment with your surgeon?
Oh my gosh. Well, so I'm Kaiser. So Kaiser does things a little different. So, so I got my referral, and then first I had to go through a 3-hour orientation.
Of course.
Of course, which was fine. It went through a lot of stuff. They had sent me the Bible, because we're COVID time, so you can't actually go in and see people. So it's all just on Zoom like we are today, or whatever the system they use, Teams. And so I did 3-hour orientation.
Okay.
And then in the orientation, it was kind of vague, like, well, You have to, they told me, they outlined everything we had to do. And then it was like, well, you'll either go to your psych appointment first or you'll go to the MD appointment first.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Like, which one?
Yeah.
Well, it just depends. They make those decisions. I was like, all right.
Alrighty then.
So I literally had my orientation on October 13th.
Okay.
And then they're like, wait, 4 or 5 days, you're going to get a call. The next day I got a call and I got chosen for psych first.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I got chosen for psych first. And this is my personal belief because I have a history of anxiety and they have me on depression, but mostly anxiety. And I'm on anxiety meds for anxiety.
Okay.
So I think they were like, well, let's get this psych issue taken care of. Like, is she ready before we even send her to the doctor? So that took the longest because I had to go down there and I had to find childcare. So I went in on my psych appointment on November 22nd.
Okay.
Wow.
It was so easy, guys. I got I'm like, whatever. She was super nice. I was the most person that I think I connected with. Kind of told her my story like you guys, like, here I am. Just, I kind of thought this was bullshit for all these years and the easy way out. And then 2 days later, I had a Zoom with my doctor.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's been my biggest complaint, I will say. And maybe it's just all COVID times. It's every time I've seen my doctor, aside from surgery, it's been on Zoom.
Oh.
So he's literally like, you and I are talking. He's like, okay, stand up, stand back, turn around, pull up your shirt. Okay.
That's so foreign. Like, that would feel so weird.
I'd be like, oh, am I on OnlyFans?
I know. Like, what is happening right now?
And our connection was crappy. It was like super windy that day. I think it's that, or he was having issues. Anyways, I don't know. But I was just like, okay. He's like, all right, well, you can have whatever surgery you want. And I'm like,
Oh.
okay. Well, in my head, I've been listening to you guys. So I was like, well, I want to sleep, of course. And but I was like, that's it. And he's like, okay, do you have any other questions for me? And I'm all, no, I guess not. Like, I don't know. And he was like, okay, you need to lose 14 pounds before surgery.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, but he counted when I went in for my referral, when I went and saw my doctor, he counted some of that weight. So I only had to lose like 11 pounds.
Oh, nice.
And so I was like, all right, whatever. But I had all the other hoops to go through. And we're talking the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So in my head, I was like, I did this really dumb thought process in my head. I was like, this is my last holiday. I'm not going to worry about everything.
Yeah.
Which is such the wrong dieting mentality, right?
But
Because
that's the diet mentality, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you guys know, 7 to all these years out, you can still enjoy Thanksgiving later on.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just that first year.
That for sure.
Yeah. But in my head, I was like, I'm never gonna. And then, but then I listened to you guys and I brought myself back down. But anyway, so I didn't really give a crap until I think New Year. I was like, all right,
Okay.
I better really start this process. But in the process, I still had to do with Kaiser. Do you want me to go into this now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I had to do a nutrition appointment, which was like 2 hours long. Zoom.
Okay.
So Zoom again. We had to do one support group with Kaiser.
Okay.
That's where I think I got really discouraged, was because I listened to your story, Kelly, where you were like so in tune with the whole team, right?
Yeah.
It was such an awesome, and I didn't have any of that. My support group was horrible. It was horrible. Like most of the people didn't even talk. It wasn't like, the benchies, it wasn't. So I was like, this sucks. So in my head, I was like, I was getting really discouraged and upset because I was like, I wanted the experience you had, Kelly.
Yeah.
I wanted that with that feeling with that nutritionist, but I never met them face to face.
Yeah.
Because it was Zoom and there was how many people in the class? And there was nobody. I remember literally, and I think my nutrition class, anyways, one of my classes, I was talking about, I was like, oh my God, I mentioned you guys. I was like, I listened to this podcast. I love it. And somebody else was like, oh, I listened to them too.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, no way. So I messaged her on the side, like, hey, oh my gosh. Yeah. Because they get Sacramento. We both listen to you guys. Maybe we could chat, exchange information, something.
Yeah.
No, she didn't even reply to me.
Oh no, you got ghosted.
I was like, and I don't even know if she saw it because it's just all these, it's not,
That's
in
true.
teams,
Yeah.
in teams you can't send private messages.
Oh,
Right.
It's just like to everybody. I was like, oh my gosh, but I thought maybe we could banter and then get information. No. I was like,
Nothing.
so I was like, cool, I have no Bari Besties. I was
No.
so discouraged by that. I was like, I have no Bari Besties because I'm not meeting anybody in person.
Yeah.
These support groups are just bullshit. They're lame.
Yep.
And I was like, great. So I kind of got really discouraged, but then we also had to do so that nutrition, we had to do a mindful eating class.
oh, I like that.
Interesting.
And actually, this is where I used to say, you know, like 10 years ago, if I was ever going to have surgery, I'd only do it if I was with Kaiser. And because Kaiser they're so good at preventative.
Yeah.
They want preventative. They don't want to treat you on your, you know, they want all the preventative. So they put a ton of money into you for preventative.
Okay.
Nice. Okay.
And so there's literally a mindful eating class twice a month, and they change and they go on for like 6 months, and they change the topics every time.
Oh, that's really
Okay.
cool.
And so I did a bunch of them, and then I missed some, and I'll start up again. But I mean, they were like eating out. I don't know. I have the whole thing, but there was a bunch of them. So I did a bunch of mindful eating classes just because I was like, well, that's kind of a good little.
That's helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, that was helpful. But again, I was just like, I finally, probably in January, I probably finally realized this is not going to be, these aren't going to be my people.
Yeah.
Like I accepted it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to Kaiser. You know, you guys are always such big advocates, and I completely agree with you on finding the right surgeon.
Yeah.
Finding the right surgeon. And that's so huge. But for me, being Kaiser,
You don't have a choice.
I don't have a choice unless I want to pay out of pocket. And I was like, oh.
No.
Because I have really good insurance. So I was like, no. So I think I just accepted the fact that no, these are not going to be my people, and instead, you guys are going to be my people.
There you go.
Like I realized that the community you made, the Benchies, those are going to be my people.
Yeah.
And that's where I was going to get all the support. And instead of being discouraged and constantly frustrated or feeling like it wasn't going to work or whatever with Kaiser, I was just like, no, I'm going to Kaiser for the medical end of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my surgery. I'm going to get my labs. They're going to do what I'm supposed to do, any medical problems I have. But for all the emotional support,
Yeah.
it was just going to be you guys. And
Which we love having you. So
It makes
thank you.
sense.
I love you guys.
I'm just happy that you found a support that you can let you gel with, because like
I feel like that
hard.
Yeah. And that could either derail you or help you.
Yeah.
If you don't have that support system, whether that be in person or through a support group.
Yeah. It's needed.
Yes.
Really needed, guys.
It's super needed. And that's why when I first was doing it through mine, I was like, well, oh my gosh, what? And then I realized that Patreon, and again, not a paid endorser, but but once I realized, up my tier,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can join the Benchies, and then we have, and I'm not even on social media much, but just having that support to need that, and then our monthly Zoom meetings are my favorite. Like I've been in therapy since October, so I'm like, and I've been in therapy a lot of other times in my life. So, but even there's times now, as I'm getting ready to finish and graduate therapy, that I'm finding that my Benchy Zoom meeting is more beneficial to me than therapy.
Oh wow.
Because just that support with you guys, just talking to and seeing all these people who are going through the ups and downs, you know, and I found my Bari Besties because of you guys. You know, I talked to Elise, and Frank and I,
I know you and Frank.
I love
so
it.
Cute.
Frank and I are on each other constantly, like, what's going on, how it's happening, you know, and we talk each other off the ledge a few times, and that's so important to have.
It is.
But I wasn't finding that in my program. So with you guys, I think that's what gave me even the more security. I don't want to say confidence, but the security to go forward and go, okay, I have people if I need people.
You do.
It's not just the superficial you see on Instagram.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
You
It
know?
is a deep and meaningful relationship that you can build upon what you guys are going through. And it's not even, oh, we went to school. I mean, we went to school together and that's why we're friends, but we have a deeper connection now because of the surgery. And obviously we run a podcast together, but we have a deeper connection because of the surgery.
Yes.
We have this thing that not many people know what it's like.
No.
And so you become very deeper connected with them.
Yeah. You bond.
Yeah. Bond.
Yeah.
Bond. We bonded. We've totally, and especially with the people that are in the support group, we bonded with
Yes.
them because you can see the ups and downs, and
Yeah.
we start like getting to really know people, and we really care about them because I went through it completely alone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had zero support. It was just the fact of like, yeah, my husband helped me through the whole process, but it was not the same support when they actually know someone that went through it and
Yes.
is going through it. Like that's a huge deal.
Yep.
So
It
if anybody
really-
feels- yeah,
It is. I literally mourned that I wasn't going to have anybody down here to connect with.
yeah,
Like, I was just like, I have no one down here to connect with. The one person that I knew that had it, that I still follow on Instagram or whatever, I was like, that's not somebody I want to emulate. Like, that's
Yeah.
not somebody I want to be like that. We do not see eye to eye. She's the one who started drinking, and did her 90 or whatever day and celebrated with drinking. I'm like, that's not who I want to. So I was just really,
no,
I was really sad for a while until I had to pull myself out of it. Cause you watch you two,
Yeah.
you do have each other and you're like, oh no. And you guys call each other. And I was like, yeah, that's so nice. I wish I had something like that. And then,
And
now
then
I
you
do.
and Frank.
Now you got Frank.
connected.
And Elise,
Yeah. I mean, now I do.
Yeah.
And I check in with Elise all the time too. I'm like, no, let's
Yeah, because you guys are all really close in
Mhm.
your surgery dates too.
yes. Yeah.
So it makes sense that you would all bond together and be each other's support, even
Yeah.
though you aren't like locationally wise close to each other. You're still able to use social media and texting and all of that to actually check in with each other. And I love that.
and that's what support
Yeah.
groups are all about. Like,
That's
was
what
the whole
our
point.
support group is all about.
Yes.
Is kind of finding your Bari Besties, finding those people that really understand you in a non-toxic, non-drama filled way.
Yes,
We do not
100%.
allow trolls in our group.
No.
So.
Yeah, no, we
No
do not.
trolls.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Haven't met one yet. And yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
because of it, I actually really tried to limit my self on other social, like I was a part of a Facebook Kaiser Bariatric, and I don't even get on that anymore because I feel like I'm done with Kaiser now. I mean, aside from my routine, labs, all that kind of stuff you have to do.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm not here to give them any more advice or anything like that. And I saw so much bad information.
yeah, that's
Like,
a
oh,
huge
do you think
problem.
I could eat the granola bar? Or just different things. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, what the hell? Or
Yeah.
I'm doing my gummies. I'm doing gummies. And I'm like, they've absolutely said no gummies.
No gummies.
Yeah, we are actually going to do a episode on the fucking Flintstone vitamin that Kaiser tells their patients to use, to take.
No. They don't tell, not mine.
The one here in
In
Oregon
Oregon.
apparently tells all of their patients to take Flintstone vitamins,
Yeah.
that it's totally fine.
Yeah, that's bullshit. And that's where Kaiser gets the bad name, because my Kaiser was like, they actually gave us a list of things I could take. Like, these are the ones you can take. Do not take gummies. Do not take these. And I actually was taking one vitamin. It was a chewable. And I said, because Kaiser makes you, like, they're like, before we even go on, they're like, let me see all your meds.
Oh, nice.
And so they looked at every single one of my vitamins and what was in the back. And one I had been taking, thanks to you guys, for months. And then I went and did my lab work. And I was like,
Let's see.
I would expect these numbers to be a little bit higher. But I was like, okay, well, maybe not. And then my nutritionist or nurse or whatever was like, no, you can't take that one. She literally was like, you cannot. You can take this one from this brand. And I was like, oh, okay. But I was glad to know. But no, they will tell you, no, you cannot take that one. And so my Kaiser, and that's the problem, is like, I'm Kaiser, Sacramento, that region. And they come from like an hour or two away or 3 hours away, depending to this bariatric one. But then you have, Oregon, and then you have Southern California, and everyone's a little bit different, and they do different diet things and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And they call them different, but no, my program was like, oh, absolutely not. No, you do not get to. But there are still so many people that are like, I don't like them. Can I take? Just take these. My doctor said I could just take these. I'm like,
You're like, stop it. Everybody's blood work is different, and you
Yes.
need different things to
Yeah.
function. Like, oh, it's so frustrating.
Yep.
Did you at least have like home support? Like, did your family be cool with this? Like, what was going on there?
a lot of support. So
Okay.
married for almost 7 years, and when I first told him, like a long time, like before I even got the referral, I was like, I've kind of been thinking about this, and he was like, he cried. He's a
Really?
he's an emotional guy. He was like, I don't want you to think I don't love you, and I don't think you're beautiful, and I'm like,
Oh.
no, I'm like, this is for me because I'm tired of thinking about my weight. That's where I was. I was like, I'm tired of dieting. I'm tired of thinking about my weight. I'm tired of constantly in this battle with myself.
Yeah.
And then so when I decided to do it, he was just like, okay, all right. And then once I did, he was like, then he started getting really excited because he struggles with his weight too. So he's like, this will be good for all of us. Like,
Yeah.
fantastic. So
Yeah.
he was super duper supportive. My one sister I told, bless her heart, she was like, I don't really know if that's what you need to do. But I knew that was going to be her response. I knew she was going to be a little bit more, I don't want to say judgmental, but cautious about it. And I was like, I knew you were going to say that, but no, I'm doing it. Like, I was already so far into it. I was like, I'm doing it.
One person's opinion's not going to change the whole thing.
Yeah. And then my other sister, who I'm super duper close with, I mean, she asked questions like, well, you were successful on Weight Watchers. Well, how is this different? You know, just honest questions. And I had no
just trying to
problem
figure it out.
the honest questions. And everybody else was like, well, if that's what you want to do, you know, my other sibling and stuff. And then my friends, they ranged, as you can imagine. Some of them were, I've been thinking about it too.
Nice.
I've been thinking about it too. And I'm like, oh yeah. And one of them's like, yeah, I've really been wanting to do it, or I've been thinking about it. And then to complete support, we're like, oh my God, good for you. Yay. Like just all just the excitement. And then and my very best friend did the okay, well, if that's what you need to do, but I've known people who gained the weight back, or who haven't been successful. I'm like, and my response was, yeah, that's real.
Yeah, it happens.
It can really happen.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean that it's going to happen to me. It's not the surgery's fault that the weight comes back. It's the person that had the surgery. It's because you're not doing enough mental work, or you're completely just ignoring all the guides for after.
Yeah.
That's why it comes back. It's not the surgery itself.
Well, and I think people forget, like, there's always going to be good and bad, no matter what
No matter what you do.
Whatever decision you make, whether it's medical or whether it's financial, like, there's going to be bad and good. Like, it's a yin and yang, like, no matter what we do. So it's like, we just got to do our best to not be, if we don't want to be in the negative side, then we have to work to not be in the negative side.
Yeah,
That's all we can do. Yeah.
So let's talk about where you're at now.
Okay.
Because I'm interested in knowing how it's gone since surgery.
Okay.
Okay.
So, again, not a paid endorser. I think a lot of the things that have happened since surgery hasn't rocked my world because of you guys.
Yay. That makes me feel happy.
Yeah.
When I've had like emotional, so first off, let's just start with surgery. Let me not get all crazy. So surgery, I had it on a Friday. Kaiser, because I was asleep, they were nice enough to kick me out after a couple hours.
Oh, okay.
I have had issues with surgery in the past and anesthesia, so I went in going like, you guys better be ready because I might try to pass out on you or die. And because it's only happened the last 2 surgeries I've had. So
consistent.
Yeah.
Actually, technically 3, but the last 2 in the last 5 years. So where they've had to give me meds and bring my heart rate back up and all that fun stuff. So I told them all that ahead of time. So I think they kind of counteracted and were careful with me.
Good.
But waking up, the pain.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys did not warn me about the pain.
Well, everybody's
Kellie-
skin tolerance is different.
No,
Yeah.
I have a super duper high pain tolerance.
Yeah.
A super duper high. So
Mhm.
I had my gallbladder out, and I never took any pain meds for my gallbladder.
Oh, nice.
I went home the next day. I think my surgeon gave me Toradol and my IV, and that was it. I mean, I went home the next day. I never took a pain med. So I was like, this isn't gonna be that much different.
Right.
Kelly was up walking, like, I'll be okay. It's gonna be a little bit of pain. That's okay. I found out that this is such bullshit, you guys. They were sending me home with children's Tylenol,
Mm-hmm.
dose for my weight, so liquid Tylenol, ibuprofen, which I had to crush up, and gabapentin, which takes days to affect. So it was just stupid.
Lovely.
But
Okay,
go ahead.
gabapentin.
Yes, they use it for pain meds sometimes.
Interesting.
Gabapentin sucks.
A lot
No
of people don't like
shit.
it. Yeah.
Like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, let's give you gabapentin for a
Here's my
Okay.
thing.
all right.
Hey, let's give you Dilaudid up until the moment we're gonna send you home, and then go take some children's Tylenol. Oh, by the way,
Whoa.
you can barely swallow,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
and you also have to crush up a disgusting giant ibuprofen and mix it in
Wow.
something, and you're hoping you can get it down. But good luck with you. So
Yeah.
I was literally there, like, I'm in so much pain, and they brought the anesthesiologist back, and they're like, "Can we give her a nerve block?" And they're like, "No, we don't do that with these.
Yeah.
Just give her, try to give her a PO med, which is oral med, see, because
Mhm.
sometimes that helps a little bit better than IV meds."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, can we give her a pill? And he's like, it should be small enough, it's fine. And in my head, I'm like, no, you can't. No, you can't. No, I have to have like liquid. I can't swallow a pill. Like, something
Yes,
will
you
go
can.
wrong.
Yes,
So I was
you
like,
can.
it's fine, it's fine, I'll go home, it's fine. So I literally like refused. I was like, no, I'm just going home. I was so scared they were gonna give me the wrong thing and fuck me up.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Because they were
Oh,
talking
no.
to the anesthesiologist, not my surgeon.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, so I was like, guess he's the one who was dealing with pain and everything. So I just went home and I was like, it'll be fine. And it wasn't fine. It wasn't fine, you guys. But because I had surgery on a Friday, I barely moved all day Saturday, all day
Mhm.
Sunday. The one thing that totally got me in my head is I was paranoid, thanks Dr. D, for like constipation. I was like, oh my God,
Mm,
Yeah.
so I was like, and then I was also super paranoid about getting dehydrated.
yeah.
So I'm trying to drink, but I couldn't stand any protein drinks at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
I was
pretty
like,
normal. Yeah.
Like all of them I used to love, I tried new ones, couldn't do it. So I was like, I'll just have my little cups of water and popsicles. I was like, that's fine. Well, finally, I think on Monday, totally TMI, I started having diarrhea. And that's one of the things that said, like, if you have this, you have to call.
Yeah.
So I called and they're like, okay, but I'm like in tears. They're like, what's going on? I'm like, the pain, I can't. They're like, if you're in that much pain, you need to go back to the emergency room.
Yeah.
And I was all, what? They're like, yeah, if you're in this kind of pain, you should have gone back. I'm like, I left in this kind of pain.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah. Like, why would I go back if that's how I left? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
in my head, I'm like, you know how you all sent me the fuck out of that place. So
Yeah.
I went back. They gave me some Dilaudid. They gave me fluids because I was finally able, like, and I was like, oh, hello. And then they gave me a liquid, like hydrocodone.
Okay.
And then life was fine then. Then everything
Yeah.
was fine.
Everything was fine.
And then it was fine. And then I still was just like, I'm just gonna stay hydrated.
Yeah.
And then I think a couple days later, I ended up calling because I was like, hey, when should I be taking this med or that med? And they were like, oh, well, it's up to you. And they were just kind of talking, just really random. It was like, hey, when am I supposed to take my Paxil for my anxiety? They're like, oh, well, you should have taken that this whole time. And
Oh.
I'm like, okay, but am I swallowing it? It's a pill.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, you have to talk to your regular doctor about that, if it can be crushed or not, because not all meds can be crushed, because it
Right.
changes the chemical compound of them and how they're absorbed. And I was like really?
Okay. So I have a few things to touch on. Number one, they should not have kicked you out on the same day because you were having pain. And if you were in the hospital overnight, that would have been controlled. You would have been walking, you would have been getting fluids. all of this could have been avoided had Kaiser taken their head out of their ass and just kept you overnight.
Yes.
Second of all, I was taking my regular meds the same day of surgery.
Yeah, me too.
The same day. And I was taking probably 10 or 11. I can feel my heart rate going up because I'm so irritated at this point with Kaiser, because I see so many just frustrating points of like, you don't kick somebody out a few hours after
No.
having major surgery. Yes,
No.
this is a safer procedure than a gallbladder. I have had my gallbladder out too.
But
But
24 hours, man. Your
24 fucking hours. That's all we're
need-
asking.
Because
Like-
like your body changes so much just hourly that it's like, just fucking monitor me for 24 hours. That's
And-
all we ask.
Yes, was up walking because I was in the hospital overnight getting pain meds on a regular schedule.
Right.
You cannot send somebody home with baby Tylenol and say, crush up this disgusting ibuprofen where you're already nauseous because you can't swallow shit because you just had stomach surgery.
Yeah, like you
Like, are you
had-
fucking kidding me?
It doesn't make any fucking sense. I mean, I was in home with children's Motrin. I did the liquid
Yes, but
and-
you were in the hospital
for 24 hours.
for
yeah.
24 hours.
Mhm.
Your pain was under control
Control.
by the time you went home.
Yep.
So if your pain is already under control, you can take that.
Yeah.
That's fine. But if you're already on, like, having massive pain, and I'm not yelling at you, Holly.
Oh, I know. No, I'm
I'm
laughing
just
because I'm like,
so-
in.
like,
so mad.
fucking frustrated. Like, I want to go down and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
You can't do that. And when somebody says, when you're asking a question to a medical professional, you are a nurse. You know this.
well, I'm not
When
a
you
nurse.
say-
Hold on. I'm not a nurse. I was in the nursing field for so long. I was an ICU tech. So go
Okay.
on.
Okay.
But you know, like, when somebody says, when should I be taking this medication? The answer is not, well, when do you feel like you should be taking this medication?
Yeah, you're the professional motherfucker. Answer the question.
Well, if it was up to me, I would have been taking it all along. That's why I'm asking you,
Yeah.
because you're a medical professional, you fucking moron.
like,
Yeah,
what the
I would
hell?
think you would know this answer. Yeah. No, so that conversation with the nurse, it was really good. I appreciated her. I was like, this is kind of confusing how you guys write shit. Like, we had a
Yeah.
very good conversation. Always, I'm not angry with her. I was just, she happened to be the person I was calling days later and just talking to.
Yeah.
And she was actually the most helpful yet, oddly enough. But when she started talking to me
Okay.
and just telling me like kind of information, I was like, all right. And like I got the phone, I was like, this is bullshit. I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
I don't recommend this. Listen to your doctors, listen to your medical professionals. But I was like, you know what? Instead, I'm gonna listen to my body.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what I need to do for my body. Like this is because I think like a week later, I was like, can I please have eggs? And they're like, oh, I wasn't in a soft. And then the surgeon's like, yeah, you can have eggs. I was like, fine. And I think it was actually a week and a half after all the surgery. And so then I was like, I just always felt so parched. And I'm drinking those little cups, like,
Yeah.
and like, no. So finally, I was like, this is bullshit. I'm gonna try a straw. I was like, I'm gonna try a straw. I'm like, I
Do
don't
it.
care. And my husband's like, I don't do it. Like, I don't want you to have a problem. And I was like, I gotta try it. And the
Yeah.
moment that I had like this little wine tumbler and a little tiny straw, and the moment that I drank it and I actually got water, I was like, oh, this is so much better.
You're like,
Got rid of all
"This
the
is
tiny
what
cups.
I've been nursing."
I started getting all my fluids like almost immediately.
Yeah.
Wasn't getting protein, but I was like, I'll eat eggs. And so I started eating
Yeah.
eggs. And a couple days later, I was like, well, if I can eat eggs, why can't I eat refried beans? So I started refried beans sooner.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just took over my own care and all was well after that.
Well, and I can see why you would.
Yeah.
Now, I am prefacing this with follow your surgeon's advice.
Yes,
So
follow your
I
surgeon's
do not recommend what Holly did, but I
Neither
understand
do I.
your reasoning. Neither do I. But I understand your reasoning of the fact that they weren't making any goddamn sense the whole time after. And so you're like, I've already listened to what everybody else has gone through. So I kind of know the situation. Now, the only reason why they do not suggest you just jump back into food is because your stomach is very swollen and you have to take it a little bit at a time. so you don't cause any major damage. But I understand your reasoning on why, because you were just fed up at that point.
I started eggs like 2 weeks out. It was like 2 weeks. It wasn't like super soon.
Oh, then that's
fine.
fine.
No, yeah,
That's-
2 weeks out. But I started, actually that's not true. Because I think they didn't want me to start eggs till like
Week 3.
4 or something. So I started like 2 or 3 days sooner. I mean, like that's what I pushed, like 2 or 3
Okay.
days sooner. I followed the surgeon's rules when it came to that, but when it came to no straws,
Yeah, no. No.
that there's some things that I was just like, you know what? I have to trust my own body and I have to trust what
Right.
I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yes, I started refried beans sooner than they thought I should. I mean, and I'm talking probably a week and a half sooner. But I was like, if I can get eggs down, I can get this down. But let me also preface, when I talked to the nurse that day, she was like, well, or was it nurse, I think? And then nutritionist. She was like, well, we don't really actually recommend eggs because eggs can be really hard to swallow. They can be really dry. And I'm like, what the fuck are making your eggs?
Yeah. what's
Yeah,
going on?
eggs are like number 1.
Like they're soft foods.
Yeah.
They're easy peasy.
Like when you think soft foods, what's the first thing that comes into your mind? Eggs.
It's
Yeah, scrambled eggs. I'm like, yeah, I'm not eating hard boiled. No, those
Right?
are
Yeah,
hard
that
to
would
get down.
that would be. If your scrambled eggs are turning out like hard-boiled eggs, we have a major issue.
We have
and we have
another
a
one.
bigger issue.
Yeah.
Than this whole conversation.
Seriously.
Jesus Christ.
So I was like, so I just kind of, that's what I mean. I mean, I didn't do it like super soon. No, I mean, because at first, week and a half, and that's the other thing. Even once I did get my other pains, the better pain meds, I had that one large stitch where they removed your stomach. That was painful for 4 weeks for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine was super painful for a long time.
Super
Yeah.
painful for at least 4 weeks. And then it went away. And I was like, or no, maybe it was like 2.5 weeks. And then it went away. And I was like, and then it came back.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
and then I woke up one morning and it was gone again. And I'm like,
wait a minute.
Well, you're still healing.
Yeah.
You're
But I'm like,
still healing,
is it
girl.
gone? Is it gone? Is it really gone? So I was like, always in this, like, oh, I don't know what to do. But then it was gone. And then, so 4 weeks, I was completely fine with no pain and,
Nice.
that kind of stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, I kind of just finally just decided at like week 2, I'm going to listen to myself. I'm going to listen
And
to
it
my
seems
body.
to have helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to listen to my body and I'm going to do what I need to do. And if I can do a straw, fine. If I can't, then okay, that's fine too.
Yeah.
But I knew those little tiny med cups were causing me more problems because I was getting more air in, oddly enough. Because you're
Okay.
like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
because you're like sipping, like, because you can't just go like a shot.
Yeah. Well,
On
you
those days are-
could.
I'm like,
You could.
Yeah, but then
make it a
the-
drinking game.
but
That might be
But-
fun.
my surgeon told me, my program told me that I was supposed to drink 1 ounce over 10 minutes.
Interesting.
Seems.
That seems weird.
Or yeah, I was like,
That would
because I was
be-
like, I'm drinking an ounce every 2 minutes. They're like, well, you want to go like over. You don't want to get too much because you don't. And I'm like, so I was like,
But it's an
No, it's an ounce every 10 minutes.
everyone's different. I know.
That's
That's what was
crazy.
so. That's why I was just like,
Kaiser's gonna make me take a Xanax after this episode. Like their
Okay.
rules are fucking stupid. And I know because Zach went through Kaiser, so I've heard all of the things. He did really well with it, but he also is like world's worst bariatric patient.
Yeah.
So I don't really hold him to a lot of it. But this is fucking ridiculous. Like it should not be this fucking hard.
I was gonna say,
Like-
it's too hard.
It's
almost
never
like-
too hard.
It's never
I'm
too-
just saying that's what she said. But
thank
it's
you.
it should be a process that yes, you have to work towards healing, and yes, it's not an easy process.
No.
That this is just like, come on, it should be like, okay, here's day 1, you're gonna do this and this and this. Day 2, you're gonna do this and this and this. If you choose to drink 1 ounce of water every 10 minutes, not over 10 minutes, and you're not having a problem with that, what is the
Yeah, what's wrong with doing that? If your body's accepting it, then it
and you're
shouldn't
not
be a problem.
pushing past that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was the other thing that didn't make sense to me. I was like, okay, so I'm allowed to take my Paxil because I was like, well, what if I can't crush it? They're like, well, then you can just swallow it. So I was like,
So if it's okay to swallow it, then why am I crushing it?
yeah, why don't I just fucking, so I just started swallowing. Actually,
Yeah.
it took me a while to go back on that. But anyways, but then I was like, well, if I can swallow my Paxil, why can't I swallow a Tylenol? So I was like, well, I'm gonna start swallowing my Tylenol.
Yeah.
And then when it came time to like doing my my multivitamin, my ProCare multivitamin, the swallowable, not the tubal, the swallowing one, the capsule. I was like, well, if I can swallow the other thing, I'm gonna swallow this too. Why would I open it up?
Yep.
I was like, that's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Dr. Patterson told me, she's like, take all these in the morning because you're gonna be full. So do that first thing.
Or right
it'll
before you
fill
go to bed.
up. Well, she told me in the morning. That's why I'm saying morning for me. Because she's like, just take them in the morning. You'll feel full. Give it 30 minutes, and then you can start your protein shakes. And then you can start your water. Then you can start balancing between the 15 minutes every other one. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And she was right. I felt full. I was like,
Well, yeah.
I was like, yeah, I feel full. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait the time. And you feel the pressure. You know what full feels like.
Yeah.
It's a different type of full, but you're like, oh, this is interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, I could swallow anything if I wanted to at this point. Like,
That's
this is
what she
not
said.
happening.
I had to break mine up because I had like
You have
10,
a lot.
I had like 10 or 15 medications that I was taking at that time. So I had to like do some when I woke up. I had to do like 3 or 4, and then I would wait for that feeling to pass, and then I would take 3 or 4 more.
Yeah.
And so it was a process.
That's
Process.
a lot.
But I started swallowing my pills the day
Right
I had
after.
surgery because there are pills that I cannot function unless I take them.
Yeah.
So I understand the reasoning of crushing pills, but I also, if you're taking a daily thing, you have to take this medication. Just fucking take it.
Just take it.
I
Just
get
take
so
it.
angry.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
one
trust me.
comment. When would you like to take it? What?
I was angry too. I was just all like, so now I have to go like call if my doctor doesn't know, I have to then get a hold of the pharmacist.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck this, I'm just taking it.
Yep, just take it.
Just take
Again.
it.
Again.
I mean, I do recommend asking your doctor, but
Ask your doctor.
and I did and that's something that you can be prepared for pre-op.
Mhm.
Is that is a very important question to ask your surgeon, because then and that's what I did is I asked that before because I was on so many medications. I wanted to make sure that when I had surgery, I was safe to take all of those, because a lot of those can't be crushed. Lyrica, you cannot crush, you cannot open up because it has to be taken in that way.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend, if you are listening to this, you are pre-op and you are taking a medication, a daily medication, not just a multivitamin, like a medication that you need to have every day. Your multivitamin is, but you know what I mean.
What's prescribed to you?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So ask your surgeon, because your surgeon will know, or they will say, you need to ask the provider that is prescribing this medication. And then you will have an answer before you go in.
Well, and I highly recommend just like, think about your daily life, right? Ask the questions that will affect your daily life.
Yes.
Because like, it could be anything. It's like, hey, in the afternoon, I have to like drive and do these things. When can I drive again?
Yeah.
Because that's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Like, I love water, but how do I balance? You need to do the timing thing. Like, when can I actually like go from liquids to soft to whatever?
What is the pain medication protocol for after I wake up?
Yeah. Like, am I going to be on anything? Because wasn't on any Dilaudid.
No, I was on Vicodin.
The other Tiny Tummies was on morphine.
A morphine drip.
Like, I didn't have any of that, so I don't even know.
No.
I was on any drip, so I don't understand. I'm like, oh, Dr. Patterson doesn't do that.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends on like the severity of the pain. But like, I just had a dull pain that just wouldn't go away for over 4 weeks in that surgical area.
Yeah.
And it was just an annoyance.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a piercing, cramping. It was just, here we are, very noticeable, but you can move around.
You just had surgery.
Yeah. And I also chopped it up like, hey, you're gonna have pain after surgery. Like that's just normal. Like, no matter what surgery you have, if you think you're coming out with no pain, then you need to get your fucking head checked, because it doesn't make any sense. Like, there's gonna be some sort of pain.
Yeah. But I also think if you're in the hospital overnight, your pain is going to be more controlled and you're going to be able to function,
Right.
because you do have an IV.
Yeah.
You are given pain medication through that IV, which is going to keep you in a comfortable spot.
Which Dr. Patterson probably did, and I just don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I would think it would be completely unethical not to give you any pain medication.
Right. She just kept me
And
like
you
at
have
a low
a
dose.
low pain tolerance.
it's weird because certain things I have high pain tolerance, some things I don't. With surgeries, I have a very high pain tolerance.
So you were probably
So-
given pain medication.
Yeah.
I don't really have that much, but yeah, I would bet anything that you probably had pain medication
Right,
and you
of
were
some
there for
sort.
24 hours. So
Yeah.
you were more controlled.
And then I just took my child's Motrin after
Yeah.
that. And that's it. I didn't take anything else.
You don't, I mean, after that 24 hours, I would think that you would be fine.
Yeah.
Because I think I probably took 1 or 2 Vicodin after because I don't like how nauseous it makes me. So, but I was up walking.
Yeah,
I was
you were
up
moving.
doing
I
all of the
remember it.
things.
I was like, what the fuck are you doing, girl? Like, you're
Well, but
walking
I
already?
lived with all the chronic pain.
I know.
So it really didn't bother me. I was
Mm-mm.
like, yeah. Anyways, so Holly, tell us what your biggest non-scale victory to date has
Is.
been.
Oh man, that's I think so far my biggest non-scale victory has been I went away over the weekend with my hubby. We went to Monterey and we did so much walking and stuff. And I noticed that I never once hurt.
Ooh,
yay.
that's
My feet
cool.
didn't hurt, my legs didn't hurt, my back didn't hurt. None of that ever, like it didn't hurt. I was like, and you guys know, just from the benchies and stuff that back in March, I went to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Disneyland, I hurt.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
From all the walking and stuff, even though that wasn't even my highest weight. That's what's really scary is because my highest weight that I have documented was back in October.
Yep.
Or no, September, excuse me. But yeah, just walking around being like, oh, I don't hurt. Like I didn't have to worry about what kind of shoes am I gonna wear? Am I gonna wear my tennis shoes, give me better support? I was like,
Yeah.
flip-flops, just cute. Like, and that I
Oh,
think was the
that's
biggest
cool.
one that I was like, oh, I don't want to stop. I'm not like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like I just need a break. Like it was just like, let's just keep going. I can just keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
And that
That's
I think is
amazing.
my favorite so far.
Well, what
Okay.
was your highest weight?
My highest weight in September was 289.
289.
And then
Which-
what are you at
Oh, go
now?
ahead. Right now I'm at 222.
Holy crap.
That's crazy, girl.
Look at
Surgery-
that.
Surgery weight was 264.
Okay.
So
Wow.
in 2 months I've lost 42 pounds.
That's,
So,
That's crazy.
amazing.
and that's the
crazy.
other thing, like just touching on this real too quick about your weight and stuff and about weight loss and dieting and all that kind of stuff too. I don't think before I had kids, I don't think I ever got over 270, 275.
Okay.
But for some reason when I had, I was pregnant with twins,
Yeah.
I got close to 300 with all my fluid and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. I told my doctor, I'm like, I feel like my body just wants to go back up to my pregnancy weight. Like that's just what it knew, right?
Yeah.
Like you, Mel, you're at I know you're still trying to get a little bit lower, but your body kind of found its happy weight,
It did.
right?
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, does my body think my happy weight is my pregnancy weight? Because that shit's not gonna fly.
You're like, no fucking way.
No, so when I got on the scale at 289, I was like, what the
Yeah.
like I'm pregnancy size right now.
Yeah.
So that was a fun awakening. But yeah, so yeah, I lost 24 pounds before surgery and then 22 and some ounces. So
That's amazing.
Jeez.
Good
You
for
are
you,
killing
girl.
it. You're killing
I
it.
do. I'm trying to get my water in and trying to get my protein in.
Yeah.
All
I mean, 2 months out, that's all you really can do.
Yeah. You're 8 weeks out. Like, what does your daily look like right now?
I normally wake up in the morning and I'll have like a hard-boiled eggs, like 2 of those. And I do a little bit of banana. I did find, I remember Dr. D talked about this at one point, like some people just do not do well with 0 carbs.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I was having constant dumping in
Oh, okay.
constant dumping syndrome. And that's part of the reason why I added refried beans a little bit earlier. Because I was like,
Okay.
I remember because I did a liquid diet before. I've done
Yeah.
everything. And I had dumping syndrome with that. And I
Okay.
remember going, I need carbs. So I
Yeah.
added a little bit of and then the dumping syndrome went away. Like that day.
That's
It was-
awesome.
Yeah. I was like, okay, so I just add a little bit of carbs. So in the morning I'll have like 2 hard-boiled eggs. My daughter and I will split like a small banana.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have a couple bites because that's my thing, and then she eats the rest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, perfect. And then in the afternoon, I'll do like canned chicken or something. But I
Okay.
don't like mayonnaise really, so I do like a light sour cream,
Okay.
some lemon or pepper or something in it.
Okay.
And I do a couple of the their nut thins crackers that are made out of almonds.
Yeah.
So so I do a little bit of those, and but those are always the last thing I eat. But I normally add either like a bell pepper,
Okay.
almost tiny slices of bell pepper with bitchin sauce.
Cool.
A little cucumber with bitchin sauce. That's just one or two bites, just because you missed a crunch.
Yeah.
You missed a crunch, and then I add a little bit of those crackers in. I think like a serving is like 16, and I think I do like maybe 4, depending.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
4 to 8, depending on how hungry I am. But just for that crunch and that extra carb. And then dinner, I do whatever protein I'm serving the family. I find a protein, if they're doing something like spaghetti or maybe something that I'm like not as easy for me to like pick out the protein, I'll just eat chicken salad or tuna salad or something.
Okay.
And that alone is not enough protein, as you guys just did the math in your head.
Yeah.
It's not enough protein. So I've really been trying to get better at just adding in at least 1 protein drink a day. I finally found a protein drink I like again.
Okay.
Again, I went against my surgeon and my team's recommendation because another thing I know. Hold on, Kelly, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? We were told no caffeine.
Okay. I did 30 days.
We were allowed decaf, but that was it. But no, they want like no caffeine for like ever. Okay.
Fuck that. Oh.
I told you.
Fuck that. Fuck that. I had caffeine on day 31.
Yeah,
I
shit.
went 30 days. Fuck that.
Yeah, they don't want it because you know caffeine and blah blah blah. Anyways, all the things that
Without caffeine for the rest of their life and then tell me how good it is. Yeah.
right, like decaf or this or so but I found the Premier Protein, the cafe latte ones.
Nice.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I can do these on ice, kind of like an iced coffee. Well, let me tell you, the first week or so I'm having those, this is how I rationalized it in my head. I was like, okay, it says there's 1 cup of like caffeine in one of those. So like a cup of coffee caffeine. I was like, well, I'm not supposed to have that. So in my head, I'm like, I'm not supposed to have that. But I'm like, well, are you going to have caffeine or are you not going to get your protein? Pick one.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to get my protein and I'm going to just say fuck the caffeine rule.
Yeah.
But I felt like for like the first week and a half or something like that I was on crack. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God. I had a therapy appointment. I'm like, she's like, what? I'm like, I'm just gonna warn you. I'm super like, she's like, I'm feeling something. We're just like this. She's like, I'm feeling your vibe. I'm like, I had some caffeine and it just screws me up for like an hour or 2, but I'll be fine.
And then your body gets used to it. I think the whole caffeine thing, and Dr. Joe actually nixed this, is that 1 cup of coffee, because they say that caffeine dehydrates you.
Yeah.
But he actually said 1 cup of coffee a day is totally fine and it does not dehydrate you.
Yeah.
Well, it's dehydration. Then I think my program also is like, so many people use caffeine as an appetite suppressant.
Mm-hmm.
You drink a diet soda or coffee or something like that. Like, so how many people have you met growing up or knowing that they just, your mom or whatever, just coffee all day long,
Yep.
right?
Eric's mom. Yep.
Yeah. And it's a suppressant. And I remember even when I used to drink my diet sodas in the past, the caffeine one kind of helped suppress it. So for my program, they don't want you suppressing all your hunger because they want you to just eat normal and eat what you're supposed to eat and live your life, not using things to suppress your appetite.
But
that's gonna
how do you live your life without caffeine?
Kelly,
there is no life without caffeine.
There is.
There is no life without
Oh my
caffeine.
God. I did not have caffeine at all.
What is in this cup right now?
But I started that a year ago of you telling me and taught me that hot liquids are better.
But you choose to drink caffeine.
But like I went 6 years after
I'm just
post-op?
saying.
Even prior to the post-op though, I never drank coffee or it was just literally iced tea.
But I'm saying if you are a caffeine drinker,
yeah, I will give you that one.
Giving up caffeine for the rest of your life sounds like the worst thing in the world.
Well, it's just stupid and unrealistic. And it's like, just be logical about it. Like and Dr. Patterson told me the caffeine rule, and it wasn't because of dehydration and it wasn't because of the depressant. It was because most people, when they have caffeine, they're putting lots of creamers and sugars and all these things to like the coffee. And now the coffee has become this huge calorie intake with a bunch of fat that you don't need.
Which makes complete sense.
Yeah. So I love that Dr. Patterson's like, this is the real reason I do not want you to do this. She's even did the same thing with carbonation. She's
Yeah.
like, hey, it's not the carbonation I'm afraid of for you. It's the fact they're sugary drinks. Most carbonation drinks are sugary, or they're beer, like they're alcohol. Like it's things that you should not be having in your body for the first year. So I was like,
Correct.
I love you, Dr. Patterson, for that, because she went into detail of why.
Yes, but I also think that as a surgery center, I don't think it should be like, okay, no more caffeine for the rest of your life, no more carbonation for the rest of life. Those are the
Or
rules.
alcohol.
Don't do it. Or alcohol. I think
No.
there needs to be a conversation of, how do you drink your coffee? Are you a coffee drinker?
Right.
How do you drink your coffee? Well, I go to Starbucks and get a mocha with extra whipped cream every day. Okay. Well, then you might want to cut that out.
Yeah, like that's when
Right.
you're not
Now,
able to do.
if somebody like me comes in and says, okay, how do you like your coffee? Well, I drink it with a little bit of cream every day.
Yeah, you're little. It's like a little dash.
I mean,
Nothing
that's not something that's going to make a huge difference in my calories.
No,
Like
not
I
at
put
all.
Fairlife and my Offie in it every single day. It is
Not a
low
problem.
calorie, not at all a deal.
Well, the only way it's a deal breaker is if you're doing 10 of those a day.
Right.
Exactly. And I'm not.
You do the
Yeah.
one.
I have 1 cup of coffee a day, and then I have my coffee. I don't have my coffee down here. My coffee, I'm like pointing to it, and I'm like, wait, that's not coffee. Where did it go? I have my coffee with 4 shots of espresso, which is like 10 calories. And then I put my protein shake, which that is totally fine for you to have, over the top of it. So it's a meal all in itself. It's not breaking any rules within, but you have to think, okay, why? I just wish they explained things more.
Yes.
It would just make so much more sense to more people, and it would make life a lot easier. You're like, we don't want you to have carbonation, because how do you drink your carbonation? Well, I have full sugar soda every single day. Well, that's the reason why.
Yep.
You know,
Well, and-
there's very logical questions they can ask you
I
to
think
have it
when-
make sense.
When we went to the ASMBS conference, like when we got to talk to some surgeons and some dietitians and things like that, they actually told us the more that they can tell someone why, the better
Yes.
that they do
Yes.
with their journey. Because
Right.
if you give them the reasons, they actually start following the things, because they'll start thinking back, oh, they told me this because of this reason. And then you can make the judgment call. But when you're just told no, you want to fight that. Like you want
Yeah,
to
it's
fight
like-
it so
And then
hard.
it's like, don't push the red button. Well, it's there.
Yep.
And I really want to push it now. That's
does it
exactly the
do?
thing.
What
Yeah.
does it do?
What's
I
gonna
want to know.
happen if I push it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can it's when we went camping, there's this big thing in the ground and it says, do not step on this. And my first thing was like, well, what happens if I step on it?
Yeah.
Like, I kind of want to find out. And I'm a half full-blown adult. Like, I
half full-blown adult.
yeah, because
my
I
God.
can,
I'm
yeah.
I'm gonna tell it to Zach.
I'm
You
not
and
a
your
full- I'm not a
girlfriend is
full-blown-
half full-blown adult.
Yeah, I'm not a full-blown adult. I'm a half full-blown adult.
But it's that same thing when you're on the diet. You can't have this. What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want? You want that donut. You want this. You want that. So it's just saying no. It's like that just makes you feel that restriction again. And that's all you can think about, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Instead of just, okay, I really want a donut right now. Why am I wanting a donut? Asking those questions not only out loud, but to yourself.
Mhm.
Why do I
Huge.
want this donut? Well, I just went through a huge emotional thing. Okay, is having the donut going to make me feel better? In this moment, yes. Okay, so eat the donut. And then your next meal is protein. Or have it with a meal, like Michaela said. You sit down, you have your protein first, you get done with your protein, you're like, I don't really want the donut anymore.
Yep.
Or I really want that fucking donut, so I'm gonna eat it. And then you
Yeah.
eat it and you move on.
Move on.
Because we didn't have the surgery to not live the rest of our lives never having a donut or an Oreo or a sugary coffee or
Right.
any of those things ever again. You're just committing yourself to asking those questions.
I think
to
that's
yourself.
what I was gonna point is like we have to advocate for ourselves. So we
Yes.
have to ask the whys. If they're not giving us the whys, ask the whys, please.
Yep. I almost yesterday, what was I going to reach for? I was going to reach for something that was not real great. Oh, rice. It was chocolate rice cakes. and they're the little tiny ones, and I was going to dip them in peanut butter.
Okay.
And I'm like, apple, rice cakes, I'll go with apple.
Okay.
And I went with apples, ate half the apple with peanut butter, gave the rest to Chloe. I was satisfied until dinner. So it's like, you just have to ask yourself, like, why am I reaching this because I don't want to have to cut up an apple? 100%. So is it really worth me going towards this? I mean, if I really want the rice cakes, then yeah, but I didn't at that point. I just wanted peanut butter.
Yeah,
I didn't really care what went with it. So it's asking those why questions on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And
That's
but
To
this-
yourself.
That goes back to why therapy is so important in this
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
So you learn to start not suppressing your feelings and just doing things, and you start asking yourself, or you use the tribe, you know. One of those things, you have to figure that out, because even before surgery, I would be driving, I'm like, oh, I just want a piece of cake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whether
Yep.
I was driving by the store, I'm like, why do I want that? I haven't had
Yeah.
sugar in weeks. Why do I want? Because it's not that I'm craving the sugar.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I haven't had enough protein today, or I'm
Yeah.
low on my water today. And I was like,
Yes.
do those, and then let's circle back.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I didn't ask myself those questions
In the
before I
beginning.
started therapy.
Yeah.
When I was going through my whole regain and I was completely ignorant, like not ignorant, I was completely ignoring all of those questions
All
because
of
I
those.
didn't want to face why I was wanting those things.
Correct.
So I started therapy about a month ago.
Yeah.
And I like Melanie, like she knows, you know, about a month ago. And I'm starting to ask those questions on a daily basis. Why am I getting up in the middle of the night?
Mm-hmm.
Why is this happening? Why do I feel sad about these things that I didn't feel sad about last week?
Yep.
Why am I having like that question? Why? Just ask yourself why.
Yep.
And until you start asking yourself that, you're not going to be able to deal with the day-to-day things. Not well.
Not well. Not
You
well.
can deal with them, but you won't be dealing with them well.
No.
So
No, I agree. And you go into having the surgery, and you're like, oh my God, it's going to change my life, which
Yep.
it will.
it does. Yes.
Will, but you're also like, I have to change my life too.
Yes.
And just from like I said, my husband and I went away last weekend, and there were so many times, like, right when you guys go on vacation, right? What do you do?
You eat like crap all the time.
You-
because
I
you're
mean,
on
and we were-
vacation.
There's bakeries everywhere, there's all this stuff everywhere, and I was like,
Oh.
that's what I want. That's what but
Mhm.
instead I was like, okay, well, that's not gonna serve my purpose. Like,
Yeah.
that's just not. So I had to think about it, and I was like, I don't go on vacation to eat,
Yeah.
Correct.
right? And
Yeah.
instead I was like, you know what, I am on vacation to eat. So my rule was, this last trip was, I ordered my own meals. Right?
Okay,
Because we
there you
can't
go.
share meals, right? I mean, we can share
Yeah.
meals now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I don't need, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna order the steak with the potatoes, and I'm gonna eat as much as I want. I'm not gonna worry about sharing it.
Yeah.
I love it.
My husband wanted something else. I'm like, we did share a breakfast, but I was like, I'm gonna order my own meal. And if I waste half the food, well, that sucks, but I'm on vacation. That was my new mentality. Like,
I like it.
I'm not gonna be like, hey, what are you gonna eat? I'm just gonna eat your protein. Or can I share with you? It's just like, you do you, I'll do me. We're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, Zach and I went out to lunch, and I had every opportunity to order something that was not on plan.
Okay.
And instead, and I know there are traps when it comes to salads,
Very
but I order my salads in a certain way. And I ordered it with the coconut shrimp. I ate all the coconut shrimp first, and then ate whatever else I could. But it was like I had every opportunity to go in an unhealthy way. And instead I'm like, okay, well, let's focus on a protein. And coconut shrimp isn't the best, but you know, it's better than most.
Yeah, it's still good.
Things.
It's still good protein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's just a different mindset of, and I think once you're in a different mindset, like happier, healthier,
Yeah.
it translates into the rest of your life. And
It
it
really
starts
does.
asking and like getting to those points of asking those questions to yourself.
Yeah. And Holly's so new. Like you're 8
Yeah.
years out.
I'm new.
Like you're gonna be learning all this as you go too.
Yes.
Like because things are gonna change. And I like your mindset of like, hey, it's not about like what I like.
It's not about the
food.
restriction.
It's about the fact of like
Yeah.
I get to order what I want, and I
Yeah.
just get to have the little bits of parts of it. Like you
Yeah.
still get to enjoy the food.
Yeah.
Because come on, like we've all been here because we love food. Like
Yeah,
there is
right.
a love for food.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It's just a new way of thinking, a new way of eating.
Yes.
Well, and
Yeah.
I just decided, I was like, you know what, as long as I eat my protein first, because I wasn't going, am I getting enough protein today? I was just like, eat your protein first.
Yeah.
Eat your protein first. And so my husband wanted a prime rib. I wanted a filet. So I was like,
Yeah.
I could have ate some of his prime rib easily. I was like, no, I'm just gonna have my filet.
I love it.
You know,
Good
and
job.
so it was all those times like I decided I really want a fish and chips. Well, hold on, I don't like not the chips part, you know, the fries, but I was like, I want fish. And I was like, he was ordering too, but I was like, yeah, I'm ordering my own. And
Yeah.
if there's some left over, oh well.
Who cares?
I'm not sitting there having to go, okay, we can split it, or do you have enough? Like, no, I'm just ordering my own. Like, but I still focused on the protein. That was
Good job.
always number one. And I never had a sweet this weekend. I didn't worry anything about that.
Nice.
I was just like, I'm not doing it. Because in my head, I've put a goal for myself is that I'm not having any sweets for a year.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
a good
my
goal.
goal, because I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't need them, right?
You don't.
It's so hard. My opinion is if I cannot eat all my protein and I'm still having to rely on shakes,
Then you shouldn't be eating sweets.
I shouldn't be
100%.
I shouldn't be adding the other, you know, like I said, yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know, like bell peppers for the crunch. That's fine. I don't care. Banana, that's fine. But I'm not going to add in all of the fluff until I can fully eat my 60 to 80 grams or however much I need of my protein a day. There's no need to add in the fluff. It's just not
I
going to serve.
love it.
I like that
That is a
mindset.
great goal,
Yes.
because it's very achievable. It's very doable, and you're trying to meet the baseline first.
Yes.
Like, I think that's the biggest rule for anybody that's pre-op is like, just hit your baseline first and then see what you want. Most of the time you don't want it.
No, so
It doesn't
you
even come in
don't.
your brain.
Yeah,
No,
no, because
it
you're
doesn't.
too full to even think about something else.
Yeah.
It's really the
ahead.
habit. It's the habit you have to break.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait to see how you progress over the
I
next
know.
year.
It's gonna
Like,
be
this
so
is
much
gonna be
fun.
awesome.
Excited.
Yes.
So-
I have
Well,
to say, let me say one more thing to
Okay.
you guys
Oh,
for
yeah.
my podcast endorsement.
Okay.
There was times like we asked about surgery that I remember one day I walked out and my husband and I was like, I feel like I haven't lost any weight.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he was like, are you kidding me? I'm like, yeah, I feel like I've lost none. But I'm like, isn't this a fun mind game?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because of your guys' podcast, all these feelings that I've been feeling about the surgery or the ups and downs, I have felt so like, this is okay. This is normal. I expected
Aw.
it. I've expected it. So
Good.
when I hear it, like, I'm not like, what the fuck is this? Like, what's
Yeah.
happening? Like, ah. No, I go, okay, stop. Let's think about it because of the podcast. And I will say there was days when I listened to your podcast where I was like, I'm fucking not doing this. Because you guys scared me. And then there's other days where I was like, I can do this. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I had to say, you know, as we wrap up, the last 8 weeks, my lows, I haven't had to announce them to you guys so much, because I know you've all gone through, and I expected them in a sense.
Yeah. You're
You're
prepared.
Because you guys, yes, you guys prepared me, and you're preparing everybody who listens to your podcast that it's not all sunshine and rainbows, you know,
Yeah.
and it's okay when you have these weird freaking moments where you're like, I haven't lost any weight, or I gained all my weight. Like when I started introducing more foods, I was like, I'm gaining weight. I'm like,
Yeah.
I knew that was normal. I knew it was so normal, and that's, you guys are doing just amazing things just by being so honest and transparent, because it makes those of us going through the journey after you going like, oh, all right.
Aw.
I'm not
that's
surprised by this.
awesome.
Thank you so
Good.
much, Holly. We really appreciate you being in our benchies and being a part of our community here.
Seriously.
Thank you so much for sharing the first half of the first part of your journey. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
not half yet.
Thank you,
Uh,
ladies.
we are excited to have you back on for your 6 months,
Yes.
and we will check in and see how you are progressing. And then to everybody else, don't forget to check out patreon.com/OSLP. The benchies are the best. And then also go to YouTube and subscribe, click that little bell, and
You'll get your episodes every Tuesday.
yes. And
That's
don't forget to go
right.
to our website and check out the Just Be You Bariatric Award Show. It's
Yes.
the very first one, and you don't want to miss it.
Not at all. So go now, and
We love you guys, and we will
See
see
you
you next time. Bye.